Joni came to us with quite the resume. At just 32 years of age, she became city manager of Mill Creek, then went on to be Snohomish County's deputy executive, and got our regional light rail system back on track as the executive director and CEO of Sound Transit from 2001 to 2016, and she wrote a book about it. After her injury, Joni put this same energy into her healing. And thanks to her physical therapist, Suzanne, she joined our TangoStride program in July of 2019. Just a couple of weeks later, she and her husband, Charlie, were boogieing down Greenwood Avenue with us in the Seafair Parade. So, Joni, you've been dancing with us since the summer. What do you think? How's it going?
I love it. Tango is healthy, it's fun. It's about love and friendship in the class. And it's just really energizing.
That's wonderful to hear. Would you recommend it to somebody?
Absolutely.
And how has it helped you with your walking?
It has. I'm bending my knee better. And that's totally due to Tango.
I'm glad to hear that. And your crown, we see your crown.
Yep.
Thank you, Joni. The shutdown was difficult for everybody to keep moving, and so we've kind of started over in a way over the last 6 months since the summertime when we started our classes in person again. But the great thing is that Joni kept practicing on Zoom when she could, and she remembers the moves, so that is a huge advantage. And we've been really, noticing how she's lifting her crown. You can see it in her posture when she just straightens up, and she even brought a crown to class one day because that's her awesome sense of humor, and she's just got such a positive attitude, working on the knee bend like Joni mentioned, and just supporting herself with her legs more evenly. And it's just been a joy to have Joni with us. She's such an inspiration to all of us. Thank you so much, Joni.
So my journey to TangoStride started on March 8th, 2011, when I had open heart surgery to replace my aortic valve with a pig valve after a doctor discovered I had a burst defect in my aortic valve. So the surgery went well, and I came through it all just fine. And then fast forward to December 2013, and I started having trouble breathing, walking upstairs at work, which I did several times a day. And I got kind of scared because it was a similar symptoms to what I had in February and March before my first surgery. So I went to the cardiologist, and he said, yep, your pig valve has failed, and you have to have another surgery. So on January 2nd, 2014, I had my pig valve replaced with a mechanical valve, which I didn't want because I have to be on Coumadin or warfarin for life. And I didn't want to be on a blood thinner for life. So I had that surgery on January 2nd, and I went through the hospital's 6-week cardiac rehab program, and then I graduated, and I was supposed to walk 45 minutes a day outside. So I was doing that all through March and April, and I was getting stronger and walking further. And then on Sunday, April 20th, 2014, I went out for my cardiac walk, and I had on a t-shirt and a jacket and yoga pants. And I was walking really strong. I walked up 5 or 6 hills from where our house was to Tacoma Avenue, turned right on Tacoma Avenue, which is a really wide sidewalk. And I was really cooking. I felt wonderful. I thank God for getting me through 2 open heart surgeries, and I had a big smile on my face, and I was pumping my arms and really cooking. And a little 8-year-old boy on a brand new Easter bike came up behind me and ran into my right leg, and I collapsed. And I threw my arm down. He and his bike were under me, so I threw my arm down to break my fall, and I broke my wrist, and I kept falling, and I hit my head on the concrete sidewalk. And the boy's mother and brother were walking up ahead of him, and the brother turned around and saw that there'd been an accident, so they came rushing back, and the mom called 911, and the paramedics came. And the other thing that happened was when I fell, and hit my head. I broke my sunglasses off right on the edge, and it put a big gash in my forehead. And head wounds bleed anyway, but add blood thinner to it and you get a real gusher. And so the paramedics wrapped my head with bandages and splinted my wrist and took me off to the hospital to St. Joseph's in Tacoma. And I had a CT scan done and they didn't find anything concerning. So they did 11 stitches in my forehead and resplinted my hand, my wrist, and had me see an orthopedic surgeon. And that Friday I had a plate and 4 screws put in my wrist, and my arm was casted. Then on the following Monday, I woke up with just a horrific headache. On a pain scale of 1 to 10, it was about a 15. And my husband was already gone for the day, so I called my niece who lived in Tacoma and asked her to come take me to the doctor because I didn't think I could drive. I hurt too bad. And as I got up to the clinic, I started throwing up really bad. And we got up to my doctor's office, and they took one look at me, and they called 911 to have an ambulance take me literally across the street to St. Joseph's Hospital ER. And the ER doctor did a MRI and found I had a subdermal hematoma, which is an internal brain bleed. He said I had a traumatic brain injury and I needed to have it operated on right away. So off I went to surgery, and I was out of it all night. And then Tuesday morning they came in to see me and they said they needed to do another surgery in order to help my brain swell. So they took me off to surgery and they cut out a part of my skull cap for my brain to swell, and I slipped into a coma. And I was in the coma for 3 weeks, and when I woke up I couldn't walk, talk, or swallow. So they put in a feeding tube, and they started me on speech therapy, physical therapy, and occupational therapy every day. I was in the hospital for 5.5 months. And when I got home in October, we started up with a company called Rehab Without Walls, where they bring the therapist to your home. It's a wonderful service, and I have a physical therapist named Suzanne who's fabulous, and I still see her twice a week because I can't walk yet independently. So in June of 2019, my husband and I moved from Tacoma to Mill Creek to be closer to our 2 kids and our 4 grandkids. And I was sleeping a lot with my brain injury. And Suzanne thought I was sleeping too much, so she looked around for something for me to do, and she found TangoStride classes. And I thought she was crazy because I couldn't walk without a walker, so how could I dance? But we went to a class to observe and met Gabriella, and I loved it. And I was really encouraged because there were a couple students that were more disabled than me, and I could see them get up and do a couple steps. So I joined in and have been going ever since. And it's just a fabulous program. It truly is. So the reason I can't walk yet, it's been 7.5 years, and I can't walk independent of a walker because my right leg has too much tone in it. And the tone makes my leg go rigid, so my knee won't bend. And it's really irritating. And Gabriella has been able to get my right knee to bend. So now I'm very hopeful that I'll be able to walk independently again by transferring it over. So Suzanne, my physical therapist, has incorporated the rock step into my physical therapy so that I can bend my knee. So I just want to say that TangoStride has the whole motto of dance to walk is so true. It's so true, and I really believe in it, and I'm very hopeful about my future, and I want to thank Gabriella for that. She put us in that Greenwood Seafair parade, and then she's also had us go to different students' homes for outdoor birthday parties, and she's just so fabulous, and it's amazing. She works with each of us on an individual level to strengthen our weaknesses, which is what she's done with me with my knee. And she's just amazing. So if you have anybody that's got a mobility issue, sign them up. And please give to the cause, because it does make a difference. Thank you.